Hi, I'm Kelly with Rowan Healing Arts, and this is the second video in my astrology series. We are going to be looking at the houses, and hopefully we can get through all 12, but if it starts going too long, I'll do the first 6, and then I'll do another video for the last 6. I'm doing this right now while George is asleep, so hopefully he'll stay asleep till I get this done. So hopefully you have your charts, and we're going to start with the ascendant. So on your chart, and of course I didn't bring one over here, when you're looking at it, there's a horizontal line, and over to your left will be the ascendant. That is the school that you're learning in this life. Whatever sign that is in, that's the sign that was on the horizon when you took your first breath. And that is the school that you're learning. It also starts the first house. Now, the houses are like arenas, different areas of your life. And the sign that is on that house is kind of it's how you do that area of your life. So say the first house, which is the first house of personality. And like I said, each one has its own area. And then the sign is how you project your energy through that area of your life. Now, every sign or every house has a ruling planet, and it also has 2 different ways of expressing itself. Usually, we're balancing the 2 ways constantly through the choices we make. So, we're going to start out with the first house, and I keep looking down because I have notes in my lap. I have a lot of different books on the subject of houses, and honestly, the best book, and it's the one I used for my notes on this, is Stephen Forrest, The Inner Sky. It's on Amazon. That's where I bought it. It's now on the floor. So, the first house is Mars rules that house. And it is the house of personal identity. So the positive aspect of that is having control of your life and direction of your life. It's also the way you project yourself to others. The more negative aspect of that can be tyranny, vagueness of purpose. So let's look at, say you have Pisces in your first house. So your first house, that's your personality. You're going to act through that with Pisces. What that means is, if that's the positive aspect of Pisces, then you can be very connected to source. You can be very connected with spirituality, but definitely connected to source and, all that is. Downside is escapism. It's also addiction. It's any addiction that you use or escape of reality. So it can be alcoholism, drug addiction, playing video games nonstop. And if you hear scratching in the background, that's George losing his mind over there for some unknown reason. Georgie! It never fails when I try to do one of these. So you can see the way the sign can be one or the other. Now, of course, every once in a while you have to escape reality or you'd lose your mind. But it's when you go to the extreme of either one of those. You can't be constantly connected with source and actually get your job done. So it's a balancing between the two. Um, let's say you have Aries as the first house. You're learning through that school to be, Aries is the warrior. So you could be very directed. You could be the defender of, you know, the underdog, or you could be the other. You could be the tyrant or the vagueness of purpose, which then you're looking at when it's Aries, you're looking at someone who's just fighting everything, just for fighting. So now that you see the two different sides of that, we're just going to quickly kind of go through the signs. First one, personality. The second has to do with challenges to self-esteem. It's also your values. It's also, the second sign is ruled by Venus. So it is also, in a sense, your sensuality, but I'm talking about that as in your senses of touch, taste, sight, hearing, that type of sense. It's possessions. So the positive of that, of course, can be self-esteem and self-development. The negative would be materialism and lack of self-esteem. The third one is Mercury is the ruling planet, and it is how you gather information. How you gather it and how you share it and how you assimilate that into your thought process. So it is the house of communication also. The positive of this can be clear, unbiased, objective information gathering, or you can be very unfocused, desensitized, not understanding things, defensiveness, because you're not being objective. So the fourth has to do with the moon, and that is the unconscious aspect, your emotions, and intuition. It is where the hero and the shadow comes in. That is also family and a very grounding point for you. It's where you put down your roots. So when we're looking at that, the positive of that can be understanding your motives, understanding your needs, and understanding your fears, and establishing those roots. The negative, of course, would be obsessive patterns, a feeling of being unsatisfied, a lack of self-knowledge, not knowing really why you're doing things. The fifth is the sun rules that. That is the house of pleasure, play, creativity, children, self-expression through creative endeavors. The positive of that can be joy and creative outlets, an ability to establish rapport between others. The negative can be abusive, self-destructive, and the ability to relax and just have fun. So the sixth house, again, is Mercury. That is the house of responsibilities, skills, and service, or devotion, a way of fulfilling yourself through a skill that will help others. So it is a house of service. The positive of that is to be fulfilled through a skill that you share with others. The negative is taking on tasks that have no meaning for you, or sub subordinate roles, always taking a lower position than you know you can handle or you think you can handle. So that has to do with your skill level. Seventh, again, ruled by Venus. This is the house of partnerships, intimate relationships, uh, any relationship with others, and it also has to do with equality. The positive side of that is equality. It's openness. It's also a way to build unique rapport with someone else, that's almost a magical relationship. The of course, negative side of that can be submissiveness, um, the inability to form bonds with another person, and dependency. The eighth is Pluto, rules that, Mars and Pluto actually. And it is the instinctive behaviors. It is, of course, sex, uh, coping with death, and it's the occult in a sense of something beyond. The positive side of that is, of course, sexual spontaneity. It's the acceptance of death, um, and then a sense of immortality and a sense of being able to, in a way, touch what is beyond. The negative on that, of course, is blocks to sexual function, obsessiveness, a denial of death, denial of religion, and or any occult experience, any experience beyond your senses. So the ninth is ruled by Jupiter. It is your personal system of ethics. It's your world vision. It's travels. The positive side of that is that it can break up routines in your life. It can be new beliefs, a sense of individuality. Negative can be boredom. It can be rigidity of thought, narrow mindedness. I might get through all 12 of these as it is. So then the 10th house is the house of career and destiny. It has to do with your reputation. So the positive of that can be positive self-expression, a status in the community, a sense of filling one's destiny. Negatively, it can be a feeling of entrapment, meaninglessness, obsession with power or status, or the appearance of status. The 11th house, ruled by Saturn and Uranus, is friends, groups, and organizations. Positively, direction in life with a network of people, a network of relationships. Negatively, it can be drifting, whimsical goals, friends that only contribute to confusion and not contribute to where you're going. Last house, 12th. It has to do with consciousness. It's ruled by Neptune, again, the Pisces thing. It's also events that disrupt our personality, kind of shake things up a bit. Positively, it can be freedom from worry, freedom from those ups and downs, knowing that you're not always going to be that low, and you will come up, and that you're not staying at a static level, knowing that you will come down again so you understand the ebb and flow of life. It will be spiritual abilities, uh, psychic experiences, and meditation. Negatively can be confusion, escapism, being abusive, and of course, addiction. So that is all 12. I did get through them all. And I hope you enjoyed this. I will be doing more of these videos if you would like to get a hold of me. It is Rowan Healing Arts. You can find me on Facebook, my webpage, and Twitter, although I still haven't figured out the whole Twitter account very well. But I have one. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.